Well, it is 10 a.m. here in Atlanta, 6 p.m. in Abu Dhabi. I'm Lynda Kinkade, filling in for Becky Anderson. Hello and welcome to Connect the World. We start with the search for the masterminds and the motive behind the brazen assassination of Haiti's president. Haiti police chief says 28 suspects were part of an operation to storm the presidential residence and kill Jovenel Moïse. He says 26 of them are Colombian nationals. The other two are Haitian-American. Police paraded 17 of the suspects in front of cameras alongside an array of military-style weaponry. CNN has not been able to speak to any of the suspects or their lawyers. The police chief says several others remain at large, and police say 3 suspects were killed in the shootout. Our correspondent Matt Rivers is tracking developments for us from Port-au-Prince in Haiti.
Arrests on the street of Port-au-Prince Thursday after an army police operation against heavily armed mercenaries. Mercenaries that authorities say are responsible for the brazen assassination of Haiti's president, Jovenel Moïse, early Wednesday. Haitian police say they have detained at least 15 Colombians and 2 Haitian-Americans suspected to have been involved in the attack. Police say the men who posed as U.S. DEA agents to gain entry to the private presidential residence included foreign nationals. This audio circulating on social media purported to be of the time of the assassination, with men shouting they are drug enforcement agents in English, but the audio cannot be authenticated by CNN. Police, seeming to acknowledge the rising tide of anger in the wake of the attack, are urging citizens not to take the law into their own hand.
We have the obligation to protect the people we have caught. We cannot practice self-justice.
Still, many in the Haitian capital are asking just how such a bold attack could have been allowed to happen.
Where they come from? What country sent them? Who brought them over here? How the guns got transferred here? How they got all these ammos?
In an interview with CNN, Haiti's acting prime minister did allude to the context surrounding the assassination, but stopped short of outlining a motive.
We all know that President Moïse was really committed to some actions against the oligarchs in Haiti. So we know that in the last days, he spoke about the consequences that those actions can have on his own life.
Already a nation rife with political instability, gang violence, and a humanitarian crisis exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, fears from neighboring nations that the presidential assassination may push Haiti over the edge. But Haiti's interim prime minister insists that upcoming elections will still take place despite the nation's upheaval.
The Constitution is clear. I have to organize elections and actually pass the power to someone else who is elected.
But with so much uncertainty in the wake of a coordinated hit on the president and so many questions left to be answered about just who was responsible, whether or not Haitian officials can keep the nation on track for a peaceful transfer of power remains an open question.
That was our Matt Rivers reporting there from Haiti. And as you heard, Haitian police say most of the suspects are Colombian, and we are learning more about some of them from Colombia's government. Our Stefano Pozzebon joins us now from Bogota. So 26 of the 28 suspects that we know of are Colombian nationals. Apparently some from Colombia's military, retired members. What can you tell us?
Yes, correct, Linda. The Colombian military confirmed late last night that at least 6 people believed to be involved in the assassination of Jovenel Moïse were retired members of the Colombian army. 2 of them, the ones who have been killed in an operation by the Haitian police, are thought to be retired officers of the army. This is the headquarters of the Colombian army here in Bogota. But at this moment, Linda, even here in Bogota, the questions far outnumber the answers. We don't know what about the other 20 Colombian nationals that the Haitian police is thought to be involved. Sources within the Ministry of Defense here in Bogota and the Colombian Foreign Ministry confirmed that Interpol had only shared information about those 6 that were mentioned last night, 2 that have been killed in an operation by the Colombian police, by the Haitian police, and 4 that are still detained by the Haitian police. But at the same time, the Colombian government has pledged full cooperation into the investigation on how these could happen and what's the Colombian link to that tragedy in Haiti, Lynda.
And it certainly seems like a significant link, right? So you're outside the Colombian military academy. You were just mentioning Interpol, which is obviously now involved in this manhunt, speaking to the Colombian government and the national police. Give us a sense of the next steps in this international manhunt.
What we are hearing from the authorities here in Colombia, Lynda, is that they're waiting for Interpol, the station of Interpol in Port-au-Prince in Haiti, to share information about the other 20 Colombian nationals that are thought to be involved with the assassination of Moïse, and at the same time profiling the identities of those who have already been identified, those 6 members, to understand if they were part of any of the vast galaxy of criminal groups that operate not just in Colombia but throughout the Caribbean. We know Colombia is a vast producer of cocaine. There is activity of criminal cartels, paramilitary organizations, especially in the rural areas of Colombia. Haiti is a transit point for many drug routes, so there is a lot to be understood, a lot to be cleared about the motives behind the assassination. Once we will have the motives, we'll probably also find the culprits. Lynda.
All right, Stefano Pozzebon for us in Bogota. A very significant part of this story as it continues to unfold. Thanks so much.